Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. It is another franchise hump day. We are tackling Sicario, Day of the. How do you pronounce that? Dondado
Solidaro?
or Soldado? Yeah, I can't.
Soldado? I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
Soldado. Yeah. Sicario 2. Even though it's not technically a sequel, which I literally just found that out like 20 minutes ago. So,
It's not a sequel?
no. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I did a lot of research today, and I'm in a pissed off mood about this franchise. I'm going to try not to let it affect my rating of this movie. I learned some stuff. Anyways, how's your guys' day been? I'm going to go ahead and share this live so we chit chat real quick.
It's been good.
Well, that's good, Demo. I passed you at the gym this morning.
I didn't know you were going to that one. I thought you were going to the one by Jungle Jones.
No, I have been going to that one religiously.
That's crazy because I haven't seen you once at 4:45 in the morning when I
I'm
get
telling you, that one morning we were both supposedly at the gym at the same time. I checked your location and it showed you at the other gym that you think I was going to.
No. I've only been going to that one.
Soldado means soldier, fun fact.
So it's... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
It's a Day of the Soldier. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Very dope name.
Oh, man. Technology is just my best friend today.
Yeah, I did like 3 workouts and I was just done. I just wasn't feeling it.
Deem, at least you showed up.
That's what I said. I mean, I did a solid workout. I'm trying to get better range with my squats than what I was doing prior, like a year ago. So I've been going low weight to get better range for it.
Yeah, I was late today because today was I've been just doing like bicep days, but you can only do so much of that. So
yeah, I did mine on it was last Friday, so I'll probably do it again tomorrow.
All right, I'm sharing this. Matt, how was your day?
It was a day, that's for sure.
Was it better than yesterday?
A little bit. The big downside about my work right now is I'm in a 3-person department and I'm by myself.
Yikes.
That sucks.
And then we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday inventory, so our site was closed. No work was being done.
Damn.
And so then today they're like, here's 3 days of work that we need to catch up on, and you're by yourself, so good luck. My boss literally came this morning. He was like, if you need help, call it out. But he literally was like, I don't know who the fuck's gonna help you.
Like you.
That's
great. All right, yes sir, I got it.
Sounds good.
So is it because you're understaffed, or is it just they were just happened to be out?
So one of my coworkers had a vacation planned for like 2 years.
Damn.
Like had this cruise booked.
Oh, been there before.
And then my other coworker, who is an absolute fucking chooch, scheduled a knee surgery on purpose while my other coworker was out because he's a fucking chooch. And I'll break his fucking knee if I see him in public.
There is a flag on the field. We're reviewing the call. Hold on one second. Okay, Matt. Denied the penalty. Chooch is an Italian-derived slang term for idiot or dummy.
That is amazing.
I've never heard that ever in my life until now.
Nope.
I don't even know where I picked that up from, to be honest.
I don't know, but that's great.
I don't remember. I know I started saying it after I left the mall, but I don't know at what point. But yeah, that's fucking chooch, man.
You're about to hate it because that Deem and I are just going to say it all the time now.
100%.
That's fine. Yeah, no, go for it. I say it all the time.
I've needed a new derogatory word,
I either call people chooch or I just call people straight cuck.
Yeah, I've been using that one recently.
I am I'm getting pretty ruthless, so
that's good. That happens when you get older.
Oh wow.
Kyle, I have to ask as we're getting started, where did you see that this was not a sequel to the first Sicario movie?
So there's director notes on the original script and screenplay for the first movie,
Mhm.
and the sequel, the movie we're talking about now, was one of the versions of the first movie.
Okay.
So
I see what
that's
you're
That's
saying now.
cool.
that's why Alejandro literally has the same story arc in both movies. He's finding the person who killed his family,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I kind
that
of
made
noticed that.
sense of that for me because I remember this movie, but it had been a while since I watched it. I was really
Yeah.
confused. I'm like, wait, you already killed the dude who? Wait, what are we doing here?
Yeah, they mention it's when Josh Brolin's character goes to like his apartment or something,
Mm-hmm.
says like, get back at the people who killed your family. And I was like, I thought we already did this.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
even pick
So
like
up on
I
that.
don't now forgive me, I don't remember the name of the guy that they killed at the end of the first one. I don't know if it was the
Something
same name
Reyes.
that they tossed around, like Carlos Reyes. So like that, because that's the name they use in the second one, I'm pretty sure, for who they need to kill. And I'm not saying all cartel bosses are all named Carlos Reyes. I don't know that, but like and I think they did talk about different regions in this one. But yeah, that
well,
confused me.
it can get. This is where I get irritated. There's actually like a battle, to my understanding, like within director, talent, and studio in terms of what they're doing with this. That's why the sequel almost didn't happen, and the third movie keeps getting delayed.
Yeah, I mean, this came out 6 years ago.
Yeah, so because the studio wants it to be a trilogy,
Hmm.
but they wanted to use this other version of the first movie because it was already halfway cooked, right? Like, oh, we'll
Right.
just use that as a sequel. The issue being there's a lot of similarities between both movies to where the director and the writer both look at it as an anthology. So they refer to it as a collection of stories using the
Hmm.
same characters, but you could almost look at it as like different timelines.
Yeah,
So,
because do they
Hmm.
yeah,
do they they don't reference the first movie at all, do they?
not at all. And here's what's
Yeah.
wild. They were so committed to this. The studio wanted Emily Blunt back for this movie.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
the director and writer removed her.
Yeah.
They both had different reasons, but it makes it so you don't realize how bad the similarities were because her arc was basically going to be the same in this movie. And they were like, if you're trying to make a trilogy, we got to have things that are different. And
Yeah.
her story was told in the first movie.
Yeah, I literally have this bit right here where it says they decided not to use her character in the film. Notice that Macer, Emily Blunt's character, represented the moral compass in the first movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
whereas he did not want any character to serve as moral guidance in the sequel. And he wrote Taylor Sheridan, director of Yellowstone and Tulsa King and Lioness and something else, I don't know, on CBS, said that he could not think of a reason to keep Agent Macer in the second film and that her character story had already come full circle in the first installment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess originally, again, it was going to be like Alejandro's stories similar to his, first story, and then hers was going to be very similar.
Yeah.
And even with her in it, it still wasn't going to reference the first movie, which was going to really make it obvious that this was like an alternate version of the
Yeah,
first movie.
it's weird.
It pisses me off because
And I
it's
guess
like,
we can
can we
get
just
into
make
it.
a trilogy? Like, it's such a good
Right.
story.
How hard is that?
The characters are so cool.
Well, they still could have done the same thing. I mean, yeah, they would have had to change things around to make it a
They
sequel
only had
to
to
the
change
first
a
one.
couple things around. The only thing that I can think of as to how this can be the same, like the same movies, not an anthology, but like we're in the same, universe. It's the same people, all that good stuff. Is if these things are kind of happening in conjunction with what's going on in the first one.
Yeah.
So like, like like days apart or something like that.
Yeah.
Like these are like it's like tandem missions almost. Is like the only thing. No, I'm not in a. Sorry, somebody commented. I'm not in a Sith robe. It's just a big hoodie that I cut the sleeves off. That's
We'll just show this for the viewers here.
not in a Sith robe. Sorry, I can take this off, but then I'll be shirtless, and nobody wants to see that.
We'll take donations for that, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, weighed myself today. Also, by the way, that's why I'm wearing something that's a 3X. I weigh 275 pounds.
You don't even look like you.
No.
275 pounds.
That's
I
crazy.
think I carry it well, but $50 a tit. I'll link my Venmo in the chat.
That's an easy $100 right there.
That's an easy $100. I can get a little bit more than $50 a tit. They're kind of big, so. How much per cheek?
Yeah, now we're talking.
We need to make a Patreon for that
can
one.
I'll tell you guys my frustration now.
Well,
I feel like if I get it out,
your rating.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I think if I get it out, my rating will be more fair.
Okay, all right.
That's fair.
So my frustration is I hear all this, I'm reading stuff, and I'm like, the first movie was so fucking good. Why don't you just build off of what you established now? Like, you can still tell these stories, but like Kate and Alejandro have this really interesting relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you build off of that? Like, why was there ever a plan to have her in this fucking movie and not acknowledge what happened in the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is that? What is that?
I agree with that.
I don't know. It's just stupid. So yeah, that's my big issue with it. Like, you can call it an anthology, or I don't care what you call it. Just like acknowledge what you did in the first movie.
I agree.
And they don't do that in this movie at all. At all. And it's just, and here's the interesting thing. The third movie can be a sequel to either movie, but whichever one it acknowledges, it can only acknowledge one.
Unless they're two movies that are happening at the same time. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky.
I'm holding on to that for my own personal sanity.
Now you see why I was getting pissed off at this realization.
So
before learning all this, my rating of this movie, I think, has always been a 3. I think it's decent. I can tell it's not the same director. Although the director did a pretty good job, but I could tell it was a different director. I missed Emily Blunt. And I just have some issues with the flow of the movie and the pacing of the movie. So yeah, it's a solid movie. It's a 3. It's a good watch. Between the two, I would definitely pick the first one over and over again, though.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the 4.
Okay, that's fair.
I especially now that I'm looking at it as like its own movie and kind of honestly just ignoring the first one after what you explained.
As it does.
I think it has to be a 4 for me at least, because I think the storyline was really cool. I really like that.
Ooh.
Oh, Jordan's favorite.
Oh yeah.
But I really like the storyline with the kid.
Give me some what's the ASMR where you like people like eat in the mic?
Oh, you ready for this?
Let me get some of that. Yeah, I can deal with some ASMR, but the eating, like,
yeah, I can't.
The mic is basically in your mouth while you're eating. I can't do that. That's fun.
But yeah, I like the storyline. I liked how they really like started a war between the cartels, and it was all the same people just pulling the strings. But it also helps with my favorite scene where they jumped out of the airplane and they were going in, and right before they kidnapped, I forget his name, but kidnapped the dude and was talking to him like
tactically acquired.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt. Thank you. But where there's like no music, no sound, all you heard was the wind. I didn't even notice they were there for like a second, and then I was like, oh shit, there's people there. And tactically, I thought they moved very well in that scene and did what they had to do.
Okay.
So rating, I give it a 3. I want to give it more because
give me a little half.
I do like, you know, the Sicario movies and all that. I just struggle with this one. It just, you know, I have a lot of issues, not so much with this one as much as like from like a tactical standpoint and things like that. There are obviously some issues that I have with like Kit, like the first one and things like that. But I struggled to make sense. But when I first watched this movie, like we were talking about a second ago, like they're referencing like people who were killed in the first one, and like unless you know that like this is like either supposed to be an anthology or like, you know, how this movie was meant to come out, or like whatever the fuck they were doing, you're just like, you're confused.
Yeah.
And then I know your guys's favorite character from the first one, Alejandro. I just struggle with his arc in this.
They did him so dirty in this, and not just what happens to him.
Now, granted, do I think that he is a hard motherfucker for what he goes through in the movie? Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, I struggle with, you go from one, and this is why I also kind of think that this has to be, at least I interpret this movie as like happening is at the same time or even before the first one.
Yeah.
Because you don't take a character who cleared a house and literally killed 2 kids and a wife before he killed a cartel boss and then turn him into this like hero complex, like, oh no, I just can't kill this girl, not this one. Like, that just doesn't that doesn't work in my opinion.
The only thing I thought of with that was like, it was shortly after he was talking to the deaf guy and he mentioned his daughter. The only thing I used to justify that was he saw her as like his daughter.
Yeah, but he said to Kate in the first one, like, you remind me of my daughter,
right?
And then was literally ready to blow her brains out within saying that same sentence,
right?
You know,
and
so
they do the same thing with Matt, Josh Brolin's character. Like,
yeah,
he's literally like, your boy literally says, you're gonna fuck us all because he was told wipe it clean, but he saves her.
Yeah, it just that in of itself with Alejandro, like that character, right? Josh Brolin's character, like, would not do that.
Fuck no.
And he has shown repeatedly that he does not, and this may be part of like the I don't give a fuck attitude, like fuck authority, I do what I want. You know, attitude. It could be that like his boss, whoever that lady was, you know, the Steve guy called her Miss Sunshine. It could be that he's like, fuck you telling me what to do, like I'm not gonna wipe this clean. Like, it could be that, it could be, but like also at the same time, like I just don't see, with the amount of damage that he does in this movie and the other movie, why he wouldn't just kill her.
Well, there's literally something in the script I have an issue with. And it literally tells me this is a variation of what they were trying to do with the first movie. The first movie, we have Kate, who's literally trying to push doing things by the book. And Matt is literally the one constantly saying, fuck doing it by the book, right?
Yeah, fuck the book.
So now all of a sudden, oh, no. She can go into witness protection. Oh, okay, Matt. You know, it's like,
sure.
Come on,
Matt.
Like, that's not you. That is literally not the character they established in the first movie.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Matt, I just... You saying like, that this could be more of like a
alternate timeline? Or
that, but like it took place before the first one. That would make a lot more sense.
If they said it was a prequel, okay,
That's the word.
but they're not. That's
They
my
didn't-
issue. The
they didn't say
studio,
that.
Right.
the studio calls it a sequel, and then
Yeah.
everyone else calls it an alternate version of the first film.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if it's not a prequel, shit doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. I
But
agree.
I'm with you, Matt. I have to look at it that way for it to. If it's going to be a trilogy, this movie almost feels like it has to happen before Sicario.
Yeah, and they don't. Yeah, they don't call it Sicario 2.
No,
So there's that.
the title changed for this movie like 4 times before it was
Yeah,
released.
yeah, I saw that. I
So-
also think "Gay of the Soldier," like that's kind of a gay title, but can I say that gay?
You can say whatever you want, Matt.
Kind
I
of
don't
gay.
care.
Kind of a gay title. I'm just saying, but, whatever.
Well, here, so that kind of corresponds with the director. Like I said, this movie is done well.
Yeah.
But I could tell it wasn't my Denis Villeneuve. I think he was doing Blade Runner when this came
Yeah,
out. Oh,
Arrival. There was some scheduling issues with Arrival and Blade Runner.
yeah. He can stay with that masterpiece.
Right. Yeah.
But I could just tell because I thought it was him. Like in my head, I thought both movies were done by him. But like the movie starts, and I'm like, all right, there's some things that I don't think he would do. And I looked it up. If you go on this director's IMDb, can't remember his name or her. I can't remember. It might be a woman. Either way, it's all like TV movies and series and stuff. And then randomly, this movie is like the biggest budget film they've done. And then that's it. All their upcoming projects are just like whatever. So I think this was like a last minute thing because, like Matt said, there were scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
And they found this director for whatever reason they used, and they did a good job, but I feel like you got a B-roll director, you got a B-roll title. In my opinion, you have kind of a B-roll story going on. You've done B-roll things to the main characters that I loved in the first movie. So it pisses me off. And that's why I gave this movie a 3, because it's filmed well. Yes. Great action scenes. And that's about it. That's pretty much all I can say good about it personally.
Yeah. Trying to see what kind of goofy shit I had written down.
I'm going to talk about Alejandro because that's a big thing with me. This movie is definitely, for me, a Alejandro movie. Like he's, in my opinion, the main. Like you do see a lot of Matt, especially in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it starts off with Matt and then it carries over to Alejandro. Like they kind of pass the torch in the middle of the movie. And it just sucks that you're going to establish this and get me all excited. And then you just fumble the ball. Like, I don't know. There's so many things he does. And like, I don't know. Like the girl doesn't work for me.
Right.
That doesn't really work for, I don't know. It just doesn't like, it was so clever how they kidnap her, make it look like it's the rival cartel. And then they swap and act like they're the agents coming in to save her, even though they're really the ones that kidnapped her. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But then she's on to it. I don't understand how she's like able to, like, we're talking about a child. It just seemed like a thing they did for like writing purposes. Like, how do we cause some kind of tension between her and Alejandro? Oh, she's going to be suspicious that like he's not really who he says he is. And I'm just like, I think a child who gets kidnapped by a cartel and then gets saved by like an agency, they're just gonna be glad they're alive. And I don't know.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it doesn't work that they try to establish this child is already so like mentally aware of all these things just because of who her father is. Like, I don't see how that works.
Correlates.
Like, is he involving her in cartel business? No, she's in fucking school.
Yeah.
Right.
Like she's punching girls on the playground. Cool, you're a badass. Good for you. But like, just because your dad's who he is doesn't mean you're going to be on that level. You're going to be aware of like, no, you're not really who you say you are. I don't know. Didn't work for me. And then it didn't work for me that he has this like connection with her, like Matt said, just because he reminds him of his daughter. So did Kate, and he would have killed Kate without a question.
That's true.
So, and that's a big part of the movie. That's almost the whole story is like that girl and him, and it's like it doesn't work for me. So I don't know.
I'm in line with you. I think that there are some big issues with the story, and I don't know, the whole thing, I'm going to be honest, the whole thing feels rushed to me. Like they were just like, let's get as much content as we can, and we'll just make it work. That's what this movie feels like to me.
Yeah, and also the ending kind of bothers me, which I guess we can talk about that last. Mm-hmm. But the ending also bothers me too, because I'm all for a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they're ever going to deliver on that promise. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
Because they didn't deliver on, because like I told you guys, I felt like the ending of the first Sicario was setting up a sequel, and they didn't deliver on that.
Very true.
So I don't know. Now, I hate being so negative because I did give this movie a 3. The opening of this movie was badass and had my jaw hanging.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. And I'm pretty sure the first time I ever watched it, it was the same thing. Those dudes running into that grocery store and just blowing up.
So like there's like the scene, there's like the border police, right? There's that scene first, and the guy like blows himself up, probably kills a couple of border agents and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like this is like, so 2000, when did this movie come out? 2018, right?
Oh, wait. Yeah, because is that where like Matt has the beard and he interrogates the dude and he shows him like, here's your house.
Mm-hmm.
Does all that happen before the grocery store?
After.
Yes. So it's, well, yeah, after. So it's the first scene is like, it's nighttime, it's the border, and like the helicopter is like looking for the group of people, and then there's one guy by himself and he's praying. Yeah. Then he blows himself up. That happens first. And then
the opening was
and
so
they find the prayer rugs.
Yeah.
Which a couple of them are facing in the wrong direction, whatever. And then it goes to the grocery store, and like, hold on one second.
I'm just going to say the skydiving
tough
scene, that cold, you just hear the wind blowing and you see them all dropping. That was good. That was good.
And then the grocery store scene. And it's like, if you want a way to like rile people up, that's how you do it, right?
It was the mom and the kid, man.
Yeah. And it's just like
that was like
just cold, getting out of the car, walking into the store. It's like eerie music, like, you know, something's gonna happen, but you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And then like the mom and her kid like inching towards this guy to like try and like swing out the door and like get out. It just, it's emotional, let's say.
We have a question really quick.
Oh.
I can say I enjoyed this movie more than I know that just made him so happy. Anyways, continue, Matt.
So like, I think of when I first saw this, I thought of hold on, I want to make sure that I have the right movie.
Well, he's doing that. It looks like Emily Blunt's going to be in the third one.
As of right now, she is supposed to be.
Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, seeing stuff like that is emotional. You know, for, you know, people like myself. You know, it's, you know, stuff like that is kind of what got me into my place, you know, in the world, and done some of the things that I've, you know, had the privilege to do. So to see that, you know, and you're just like, fuck them, no holds barred, fucking annihilate them, right? And then you see like the press conference, and he's like, the guy's like, you know, like, we're gonna like throw the full weight of the United States military at you, and you're like, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start to do that, and, you know, Josh Brolin's character, you know, they kidnap that dude, and he's literally just, the one guy's like, you're an American, you have rules, and he's like, no rules today. He's like, just orders. And like they fucking airstrike that dude's house, you know, like, and you're just like, that's what I'm talking about. You know?
I loved it. I thought the opening of this movie was great.
It was fantastic. And then they get over there, and just like the first movie, there's some federale shooters, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just like the first movie. I mean, in the first movie, there's only one, but like, whatever. But like, they're all of a sudden like, nah, we're done. And Josh Brolin's character is like, what the fuck do you mean we're done? Like,
yeah.
He's like, this is what you wanted.
Yeah. I'm gonna pause you really quick because you just highlighted how this movie literally contradicts itself. Mm-hmm. He said no rules, just orders. He's blowing up a whole house. There could be kids in there. Who the fuck knows? But he won't kill a kid later in the movie. Oh no, witness protection.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Dima!
Yeah, that's true.
No, anyways, but yeah. Opening was sick. I love that interrogation scene because he sees the water jugs and he was like, oh, what, you think I'm going to waterboard you?
Yeah.
And he's like,
waterboarding's for when I can't torture somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, what a fucking way to like see. That's Matt. That's who they introduced in the first movie.
That's Matt. That is Josh Brolin's character. That's who he's supposed to be.
Yes.
Not this softy that we see at the end. And like, it's all right. I'm gonna give you a break. I'm gonna give you one emotional moment, right? Oh, and it's also like he's like, she can go into witness protection. And it's like, dude, like, you can't be combative or anything like that when it comes to witness protection. Like, they're just not going to take you. So I find it hard to believe that this girl would be okay with being in witness protection, that she's not going to make every attempt to, like, get away and get back to her family. Like, we're not going to brainwash her. Like, it just... It just doesn't, just a good chunk of this movie just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's the only word that I can come up with is it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's what I'm saying. Like to find out it's just because of the things going on in the background. It's not because the writer can't write. It's not because the actors can't act. It's not because the director can't direct. It's literally the studio being fucking lazy and saving money. Oh, we already have this half-cooked up script from like what might have been the first movie. We'll just use that as a sequel.
Like, dude, you should have just rewrite it.
Yeah.
Literally. Like I said, if they did some of the same stuff in this, but they're also building off of like Kate and Alejandra's relationship. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. But no, they just, I don't know.
Nope. Just went in some weird direction. Like, don't get me wrong, I like this movie.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I
like,
enjoy
I feel
it.
like
I do enjoy
it's
it.
a really good shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
But like,
the action in this is pretty awesome. To be
for
honest.
the overall story, it's just not there.
Like, there's some really cool, what I like to call cutscene moments. Like you'd be playing a video game, and it's moments where like you set down the controller and just enjoy what they put together.
Yeah.
When Alejandro has that sack over his head, and they got all the guys circling around him with just headlights and shit, and they tell that kid to shoot him, and he doesn't, and then they come up and just poof.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, man.
Like being in a video game.
Yeah, but then other dude comes up, and he's just like, fuck it. Shoots him in the face. It's like, whoa.
Let's talk about the action scenes, right? So like, you have like our really cool, you know, tactically acquire this guy moment in the beginning, and then we get to, I think it's Mexico City. I can't remember where they kill the cartel guy when they ambush him, and Alejandro shoots him as he's like running away and tells him to put his glasses on and all that. And that the finger in the gun thing, when he like gets it like fire, that does work. Fun fact. When I first saw this movie, I was like, that's not gonna work. It 100% works.
I was calling bullshit, but I didn't care because it was Alejandro and it looked badass.
Yeah.
It was just so aggressive.
It 100% works. Now, granted, I've tried it only with 2 handguns, and it worked with both of them. So, like, is it going to work with every handgun? I don't know, but it's worked with the 2 that I've tried it with. Tough, you know, like, you know, they're like Josh Brolin's character is like, we're going to start a war, and Alejandro's with who? And he's like, everyone. And then it's like very true, like that's what we're doing. And then they like it breaks the scene. They're in like a hotel or something, and they're like watching the school and whatnot. And like that's fairly accurate for what like a you know, a blind, like a hide site would look like for like, you know, some kind of operation. It would probably be they'd probably have some curtains drawn if they could. I don't think it would, all the windows would be open, but you know, kind of like it is what it is.
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood, you know. And you know, they grab that girl and it's like quick and dirty, and they're just like, you know, we should have grabbed her at home, like it'd have been cleaner. And they're like, nah, Messi's, and our, you know, our boy, my favorite character is like, nah, Messi's good, makes it look like the cartels did it. I do feel like his character, I mean, he had a couple moments, but I do feel like his character was not as much of a comedic relief. This movie,
and less screen time,
had way less screen time.
So stupid.
Which is disappointing.
Well, yeah, because if you take away 2 lead, if you think about it, we got 2 characters that were running the film in the first one, and they're out of the picture now. So let's let these side guys step up to the forefront. Yeah, like
which again, like plays into how I think that these movies might be kind of running in conjunction with each other. Like there are moments where in the first Sicario movie, you know, Josh Brolin's character is like, go home, like we'll pick it back up tomorrow or something. And it's like they very well could have been shifted, and now they're doing this over here, you know, in, you know, Mexico City or whatever. You know, so like there is a way that you could look at this and it could be the same movie essentially. Like you could cut strips of this movie and paste it all together into one big movie. It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if somebody has enough time on their hands that they want to do that, you know, whoever is listening to this, if they want to do that, I would 100% watch that. If you could make it make sense. Just let me know. I'll be the first to view that. That's, you know, and because they get to, you know, when they first go to Mexico and Sicario, and, you know, he's asking, you know, Steve how he's doing. He's like, oh, you know, I'm got red specks in my pee, it hurts when I pee, you know, type stuff. But then we don't get anything like that. There's no like meet and greet or anything like that when they first see each other, which means, in my opinion, that they are already working together. You know, he's just tagging along, which is again why I think like maybe this is the same movie. It's all just one movie. And then he does, like, you know, he gets shot in the one firefight and he's like, the fucking Mexican federal police shot me. Like, you know, like that's like his only really funny moment in the movie.
Yeah, honestly.
Other than calling whoever that boss lady is Miss Sunshine. Like, that's really it.
You know, I just realized another issue I have with this movie. Yeah, wow. Let's see if you guys we'll see if you guys agree with this.
Hit me.
Miss Sunshine tells Matt, Alejandro, like, we can get another father that lost his family, you know, whatever. Okay, but can you get one that has direct correlation with the guy that you're trying to get that's like running the cartel, you know, like
maybe. But
like that has his training and his background, and like, I mean, there's a lot of check marks with Alejandro.
Yeah,
it's not just the dad who lost his family.
It would take time to, like, that's why, like, when
so
she's like
beneficial for the mission.
When she's like, burn everyone, you know, like including your asset, and he's like, Josh Brolin's character literally says, like, do you know how long it took to make him?
That's my point.
And it's like, that's the point. Like, Alejandro clearly has training, right? So they probably scooped him up, after his family died, and he's probably, been through some courses and he's had training, how to handle a firearm and things like that. Like that just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, see, narratively, that's just another issue I think with the script. Like personally, I just feel like they were like, we need to figure out a way to have this tension or breakup between Matt and Alejandro, and she can just call him and say, "Hey, Alejandro's gone. We'll get another one." It's like that doesn't make any sense for what you guys are trying to do.
None. It doesn't make any sense.
Like if you're trying to get this war started and convince the United States that terrorists are coming up through Mexico so that we can go down into Mexico, well, you're going to slow that down tremendously by getting rid of Alejandro.
Yep.
Sure.
He's a key part of all this.
In the real world, I'm 100% convinced that that's what's happening.
Oh, I know. That's the interesting thing. This movie could spark some like controversial conversation, like very easily.
Yeah. Like I saw this video not too long ago, not to like get super off topic, but it was a video of Border Patrol picking up a bunch of like Asian dudes that had had crossed the border and whatnot, or like were getting ready to cross the border or something. I can't remember the exact context of it, but they had claimed that they had walked up from South America through Central America to the U.S.-Mexico border. Every single one of them was wearing white shoes, and their white shoes were sparkling clean. And I was like, you didn't walk through Central America. You didn't walk up from South America. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that your shoes are that clean if you walk through Central America. There's no way.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we're being invaded. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. Like this movie really makes you start thinking about things when it comes to like the overall like mission and what they're trying to pull off.
Yeah.
But honestly, the first movie can make you think about stuff like that as well. Like,
it does.
That's what's so cool about these movies. And besides some things that Matt can easily point out about like, what they're wearing and yada, yada, like it feels very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels very real. And like you said, sometimes it feels like you're there, like with the camera shots they do.
Right.
Even in this movie, there's some shots like that. And it's cool. I don't know. I dig it. That's why it sucks that they fucking fumbled this, in my opinion. Like, I agree. Like I said, I can enjoy watching this movie. Yeah, I can sit down and watch it. And I enjoy it. But with me wanting it to connect to the first one, it's just like, really let me down. So Dima, since I feel like you like this more than Matt and I do, what are some highlights? Like, what are things that you like about this? Wait, did you give this a better rating than the first one?
Initially, yes.
Okay, that's fine, but that's my point. Like, yes. I want to hear what you like about this.
So I really like the way it was filmed. I think that played a big part into it.
Oh.
I loved the.
So you like the B-roll director?
Well, in a sense, but I, like you, I'm a big fan of like the bird eye view. So he did that quite a bit in this movie.
They did their homework because they definitely tried to imitate.
Yeah,
Denis Villeneuve. I mean, there are shots that are like exactly what he would do, but then there are shots that aren't. And that's where I was like, okay. But I agree with you. There are some really cool shots.
But I mean, there is a lot of bad, and like the more I listen to y'all, more.
Dima, you don't have to change your opinion on something just because two people share another opinion.
Well,
I know you like the action. I know you like the action.
The action is good.
The action in this is really good.
That played another big part of my rating. Like I said, like especially with when they dropped out of the sky and before, like in the beginning, cold, like that right there is what really was like I like this.
I would argue that the whole first like 15 minutes of the film is
amazing.
Not the best part of the film, but like a good chunk of the good in the film.
No, For me, it is the best part.
Yeah.
I think this movie has such a strong beginning.
I
And then
do
the rest of
love.
it is just blah, blah, blah.
I do love like the shooting scenes, like the convoy shooting scenes. You know, where like the federale turns the 50 cal around and they get into like the firefight and all
Oh,
that.
and then there's the rockets being launched.
Yeah.
That scene's
That's
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
And then when they go after the whatever the dudes are, I can't remember what they call themselves, the gangsters and all that kill Alejandro. I think they're called like the Coyotes or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Something stupid like that. I almost said something. I almost said a slur, but I won't.
Or Chooch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll just say Chooch. Sure. That's what I was gonna say.
I said Chooch. My bad.
And then like when the Black Hawk helicopters come in and lands down in front of the car, and the guy, like the door gunner, just takes that one shot and it goes through the driver and the dude behind him.
That's
badass. Cool.
Yeah.
And they're like taking out, and they're like telling the guys in the truck, they're like, stand up, and then they just gun them down. And then you see Steve. You see his character literally as Matt is walking away, he like walks up with his gun and like puts it up and is like shooting down into the truck bed at the guys that are just laying there to make sure that they're dead. Like, it's cool, it's tough. Yeah. And like that's, you know, a kind of part of the problem, like where like we see these characters be these like tough guys, and they're just like, oh, okay, never mind, we're gonna be softies and I'm gonna save this girl, like freaking Josh Brolin. I don't know if you guys can hear these freaking dogs outside.
Kind of.
Good Lord, one of them's like it looks like a coyote. They're like it's like a wolf dog. Dude, cool. They are losing it right now.
It's very faint, but I can hear something going on.
But no, I enjoyed it. I mean, y'all made me realize a lot that I didn't think of. And then I forgot when I was watching it. It was about 15 to 17 minutes in. I was bored after that. And I stepped away for about 40 minutes.
It is a credit to this movie, though, that you can just sit down and enjoy it. And that's why I gave it a 3, because I can watch it and enjoy it. But when we're analyzing it for this podcast and my brain's doing its thing, I just had a lot of issues. Like, it doesn't... You know, if I'm watching a movie that the studio is calling a sequel and it doesn't feel canon to the first one in a lot of different ways, it's like, what?
Yeah,
I felt stupid watching this movie when Alejandro is talking about how he's finding the person that killed his family. When the girl asks, was it my father? No, but he worked for your father. I'm like, okay, so the guy that you killed in the first one wasn't him, even though you said he was. You know, I was just so confused. So I was actually glad to go online and see I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
There is a lot of confusion with these movies, you know, and it's because of the studio and whatever. But
yeah, I wasn't even thinking about like initially I was, and then it was like I was watching it and made me forget that this is classified by studio as a sequel.
Did you miss Kate in this one?
I did.
And Reggie?
Yeah, I was like, man, this sucks. Like, they're not in it. And then
I miss John Bernthal's character.
Yes. Good old Johnny boy.
He's going to be the lead of the third one. Day of the Bernthal.
But yeah, I forgot that I just forgot about the first one while watching this.
Jordan's going to ask a question about John Bernthal. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. I gotta say, for the third one, because it looks like it's in pre-production indefinitely until they decide what they're doing, but I really hope they are more canon to the first one, especially if Emily Blunt returns.
Yeah.
And they build off Alejandro and her relationship. I will say it would be cool if they kind of do what Matt says and they pull from both movies. So, like, I guess we can talk about the ending of this. The one thing I like is Alejandro, you know, it shows that kid a year later, he's tatted up. He's working at that restaurant in the food court at the mall. And then Alejandro's waiting for him in the back. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Alejandro could just be there to kill this kid.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm going to use you. Like that's an Alejandro thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he knows there's bigger fish to fry. This kid was just a pawn, and now he's going to use him. So I like that part. I think that's cool. So, you know, if the third one they have Emily Blunt and her relationship with Alejandro, but they also have this kid relationship with Alejandro, or however he's using them, that'd be cool to see. I'd be
Well, like, so this is why, like, this is again, like, part of why I think that they could be both the same movie is, like, in the first one, we're trying to reestablish the Medellin cartel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one cartel that controls all the drug trade, right? And then in the end of this one, you know, he's like, let's talk about your future. You know, like, you want to be a Sicario, like, let's talk about your future. Like, it could be like, this is the same movie, and this is just them building the Medellin cartel, you know? I do know, I just looked up because I was kind of curious if there had been any recent news about Sicario 3, and it's just more of the same. Like, I don't think anyone truly really knows.
No.
Because, like, I saw a quote from Josh Brolin that said, like, it's confirmed and, like, it's written, but then this, like, other website that I've never even heard before say that there's not even a screenplay written for it yet.
Yeah, Josh Brolin was interviewed for something recently, and he was asked, you know, are you going to be Cable in the new Deadpool Wolverine movie? And he said he couldn't answer that. And then they asked about Sicario 3, and he said, is that still happening? He said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that kind of told me the tape here, because it's like, you know, I can put shit on IMDb.
Right.
I have, you know, so it's like, I don't know. Who knows?
So if we get it, we get it. If we don't, maybe I'll just take the time and split both these movies into one movie.
Yeah.
We can have the Sicario extended edition where I just splice both movies together in, like, different bits, and then we'll just watch the whole thing.
I'll say I might break it up into DaVinci Resolve and make this ultimate cut for you, Matt.
Yeah. I'll watch it.
I'll give you more Steve somehow too.
That's all I want. Just cut in parts of Burn Notice.
That would be fucking chaotic. They're like, wait, what's Steve doing now? Wait, hold on now.
He's in Miami. Why?
Yeah, where's his mustache?
Hey, it's all in the same universe. Steve's a spy. It's all in the same universe.
Checks out. Okay, so the ending. I don't know. What do you guys think about the ending of the movie, other than what we already talked about?
I think it sets up. It sets up for something, just like Sicario, the first movie, did.
Yeah,
they're both setting up for something, and I'm gonna be kind of murderous if we don't get a conclusion to this. I'm just saying, I will probably kill someone.
I don't feel like that's why I hate that. I just feel like we're not going to. It's like the end of the first one. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it kind of sucked. It was weak. Like, I was confused.
Really now?
Yeah. Well, last time the kid was there, it was for the cartel shit. So I was like,
but he left the bed of the truck before it.
Which is why I was confused, because I was like, wait, is he back there for cartel shit? I thought I was like, he jumped. He said no.
Yeah, he said fuck this.
Hey guys, what do you think about John Bernthal? Such a multi-dimensional actor, truly a pillar of a modern film. I really enjoy the variety of characters he's able to portray things. Yeah, 10 out of 10 actor for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely doesn't play the same character in everything that he's in 100%.
Yeah, him and Tom Hardy are the actors of our generation.
Yeah, honestly, if Tom Hardy's not in Sicario 3, it's not even going to be worth anything.
Sicario 3 is going to be a buddy cop movie with Tom Hardy and John Bernthal.
and the Silvio from the first one, the Mexican police officer.
Yeah.
Whose story was a waste of time.
Oh my gosh. No, it'd be cool if John, because I mean, we don't know he's dead, right?
No, we have no idea.
Like we kind of assume
We
the
well,
worst.
so they say like in Sicario in the first one that like when Matt and Alejandro are talking to him, and he's like, "This is how you choose to survive. Like this is like what gets you into like a a state penitentiary and wherever, or a work camp prison in Missouri. So like he's probably in prison,
He could escape.
but like what prison?
Well, not only that, he could be used by our own government.
Yeah.
There's always that stuff. Like I don't know. It would be cool if they could use him in a third movie if it ever happened.
I agree.
Bring old Johnny Boy back.
Yeah, bring him back.
Well, I guess we can go and wrap this up. I want to ask you guys, because there's a lot of options for the next movie or franchise we could tackle. I will admit I'm in a certain mood right now. Like watching these has me wanting to watch more movies like this.
Okay.
So like Den of Thieves is the first one that comes to mind.
Den of Thieves.
And if we do that, Cody wants to do it. So
100%. Bring him on.
Okay.
I want to see a fourth screen on here.
Yeah, Jordan's a bitch. So like even if he gets on here, it's going to be a black screen and he's just going to talk about Joker Folia. Dude, it's his favorite movie. He won't shut up about it.
I haven't even seen it.
Even though he walked out like an hour into it. But yeah, it's his favorite movie ever. So
he's too good for it.
All right, so I guess we'll do Den of Thieves next.
Yeah, that works for me. It's got one of my favorite actors.
I will say I didn't mention it before. I literally have in my notes here. But there's a scene in the first when they're in the first convoy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll end on this, I guess. In the first convoy, and this is like super basic knowledge if you understand like how these optics and things work. They get on that dirt road, and he's like, "You got your thermal with you?" Like, number one, it's broad daylight. Two, he like pulls out and he's like, "Oh, I got nothing." It's like, dude, you can't see through glass with thermal optics.
Oh.
So you wouldn't be able to see through the windshield.
Can I change my rating?
No. Set in stone.
You said it was better than the first one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a 3.5.
Yep. So yeah, I saw that and I was just like, come on.
Also, we brought up a screen grab in the first movie. It's from this movie. I realized that watching this.
Yeah.
Matt walking with those other dudes, and he's got the vest with the two mini clip holders.
Yeah, there are a couple of kit issues. It's like I beat that horse fucking dead in the first one, and it just carried. But that honestly, that's just Hollywood.
I want to ask you about something, Matt, because I thought this was the hardest Alejandro scene, and I didn't know if it was actually like tactfully sound, like if it actually made sense. It's very similar to like Steve looking down the sight, but his finger's not even near the trigger to shoot, and he's opening the door. Alejandro is getting out of the passenger side of the Humvee they're in.
Yeah,
and he's using the door as like
as
cover,
like a shield.
And the muzzle is going like through the crack of the door, and he's
so
literally
like
clearing
those armored doors. When you open them, there's like a little bit of a V like that from when the door like curves.
Yeah,
and so he's like got his gun like in that crevice. I don't have my rifle up here with me, or else I'd try and portray it. But yeah, he's literally got it in that crevice, and he's just using that as like an anchor point, like a bipod essentially, to just like take those shots and still be undercover. 100. Yeah, you can 100% do that. Now, if that door takes around from that 50 or like, anything like that, like, or like a rocket goes off near it, that's not going to do much for you.
I was comparing it though to Steve's exit in the first movie, and I was like, that looks more tactfully sound. Like that makes more sense to me. I would say Steve looked more badass maybe, but Alejandro just looks locked in. He looks ready. He's got
because
cover.
He is locked in.
he's got cover. It just kind of looks like it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But it stood out to me in this movie because he just looks so badass the way it was filmed, and so compliment to the DP on this. But yeah, the way he was just getting out and that gun was aimed. It's like he's clearing while he's opening the door. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they did a lot better of a job. Like it came to like tactics and things like that in this one. Obviously, there are still small little things that I could nitpick, but that's just with anything, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for Den of Thieves because I love that movie, and
it's such a good movie.
Seems like it gets a lot of praise for its.
It does.
The kits they wear and the gun sounds.
Yeah, especially like the difference in kits from like your like major crimes guys and then like the criminals. There's such a huge variation in what they wear. It's Den of Thieves is such a good movie. I have very high hopes for the second one.
Yes.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Dima, you have any last thoughts?
The Penguin finished absolutely phenomenally.
Yeah. No spoilers, but best comic book related TV series ever. I will die on that hill.
Yes.
I will die on that hill.
If you haven't seen it yet, Matt, definitely check it out.
I've watched the first episode and then I just haven't gotten
just
time. This is like doing this is like the only free time I have.
I feel that. I feel that. And I'm trying to film a movie right now.
Unfortunately, I'm swamped right now.
Yeah.
I
recommend it when you got time.
I just recently got pretty hard into Magic the Gathering, and so that's taking up a lot of my time. So
I get that. I've been playing a lot of COD.
I am just struggling for free time at the moment. So eventually I will watch it, but
you will dig it. You will definitely dig it.
It's on the list.
Yeah. It's just got that true crime thriller feel to it. Like you forget it has anything to do with Batman or DC Comics.
I will say with Yellowstone coming back on TV, that has my full priority.
Yeah, we're on season TV 5 shows right now. So
yeah,
we're almost caught up. Almost
10
caught
out
up.
of 10. 10 out of 10 Yellowstone.
Oh, we could do like a whole month of podcasts about Yellowstone.
Maybe we will.
That show is just like so fun. It's
so
it's like Sons of Anarchy on horses.
Yeah. Well, I
stole that from my coworker, but
you've seen Sons of Anarchy, right?
Oh, dude, it's one of my top 3 TV series.
I mean, Deputy Hale from Sons of Anarchy wrote Yellowstone, so
yeah, it makes sense. But all right, I agree with Dima. If you are watching this and you have not watched The Penguin, watch it. So fucking good.
Make sure you see Joker.
Yes, Joker fully I do. Jordan's never on here, but it is Jordan's favorite movie ever. He highly recommends it.
Yeah.
And anything with John Bernthal.
Yes.
Yep. And Tom Hardy.
While eating candy corn.
Yeah, while eating Jordan's favorite candy.
And talking to Vicky. All right.
He's kicking shit. He is kicking shit. Oh, Vicky. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh, I missed it.
So close.
Damn it. We're going to get the timing this down one time.
One of these days. I feel like the time changes every time.
Dima, I hit end stream, and it's just not